Hi everyone, and welcome again to another lesson. So for today, we are going to talk about the quadratic formula and how will we use this to find the roots of an equation. So first, let's define what is the quadratic formula. So it states that if ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 and a is not equal to 0, then the quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So take note of this formula. So as you can see, your b comes from this, your a comes from this, and your c comes from this. To further understand the formula, let's have some examples. So the first example, we have 2x squared plus 2x minus 1. So first, let's list down what is a, what is b, and what is c. So your a is the first number, which is 2. So katabi lagi ni a si x squared, or yung meron na squared. And then 2x, so 2 is your b, laging katabi niya yung x, or kung ano man yung letter dyan. And then your c is the constant, yung walang kasamang ibang letter, which is negative 1. So given the formula, x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's substitute the letters. So negative b is negative 2 plus minus square root of b squared. So 2 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times 2. So you have negative 2 plus minus square root of 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Times negative 1 is negative 8. And then negative 8, meron tayong negative sign dito, so magiging positive na. So 4 plus 8 all over 4. So that would give us negative 2 plus minus square root of 12 over 4. To simplify, we have negative 2 plus minus. So square root of 12 is also 4 times 3. Since 4 is a perfect square, we can take it out. So we now have negative 2 plus minus 2 square root of 3 all over 4. We can lowest term it. So negative 2 can be divided by 4 and then 2 and 4. So you have negative 1 plus minus 1 square root of 3. So just copy the square. And then 4 will now become 2. So the answer would be negative 1 plus minus 1 square root of 3 over 2. Or you could also write it as, I'll just put it here, negative 1 plus minus square root of 3 over 2. So it's okay not to put 1 here because it is understood. So this is your final answer. Now let's go to our next example. So we have 3x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So a is 3, b is negative 1, and c is equal to negative 2. Let's write down the formula. Negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x is equal to negative 1 plus minus square root of negative 1 squared minus 4. A is 3. This is negative 2 all over, this is negative 2. 2 times 3. So we have negative 1 times negative is 1 plus minus square root of 1 squared is 1. So 4 times 3 is 12 times negative 2 is negative 24 times negative is positive 24 over 2 times 3 is 6. So you have 1 plus minus square root of 25 over 6. So 1 plus minus the square root of 25 is 5 and then over 6. So this is your final answer because we cannot lowest term it already. Now, if your teacher asks you to simplify it, you could see that 1 plus 5 over 6 is equal to 6 over 6, which is 1. And then 1 minus 5 over 6 is equal to negative 4 over 6 is negative 2/3. So these are your roots or this one. So it depends on your teacher whether they are satisfied with this answer or you still have to lowest term it and simplify it to this answer. Now let's proceed to our last example. So we have x squared minus x plus 4. So your A is 1, B is negative 1, and C is 4. So we have x is equal to negative 1 plus minus square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 4, all over 2 times A. So that's 1 plus minus square root of 1 minus 4 times 4, 16, all over 2. So you have 1 plus minus square root of negative 15 over 2. So as you can see, the number inside the square root is negative. So when you factor out negative 15, it would give you an imaginary number, which is I. So that means that there is no real solution in this equation because the square root of a negative number is not a real number. So you can say that there is no real solution, which means you have no value of x unless you will solve for the complex numbers. So at the moment, we are not going to do that, so we would stop here. So that ends our lesson for today, and I hope you learned something new. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. That will be all, and thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye!